Hey folks, how you doing? Ron Raymond here from the Raymond Report with your NBA playoff previews and predictions for a Saturday, May 22nd. Hope you're having yourself a good start to your weekend. As always, don't forget, subscribe to our channel by tapping that notification bell in the top right-hand corner, or hit the subscribe button below this video if you are using a mobile device. As always, today's podcast brought to you by bballpicks.com. Anybody can play, anybody can join, and you want to follow the top pickers right now at bballpicks.com. Mike Anthony of Proline, 802 points. Ovens B. Michael, 793. And Kevin the Terminator at 782, rounding off the top three basketball pickers right here at bballpicks.com. All right, let's get to those four matchups here today. We're going to use the premium reports of the ATS stats today. And we're going to kick it off with the first game of the day at 2 p.m. And it's going to be between the Bucks and the Heat. Now, the Miami Heat go into this game as a 4.5-point road dog. The over-under is set at 226.5. ATS forecast computer pick sees a 2-point victory by the Bucks. 113-111, the over-under at 224.55. Looking at both teams coming into this game, they were both 8-2 straight up, and the Heat are 8-2 against the point spread, and they've also seen 80% of those games go over the total. Looking at the value index on this game, I did have the Bucks here at minus 5.89, and you're getting 4.5, so you're getting a good value here on Milwaukee, but you're also getting a good value here on the Miami Heat. I had them at minus 0.03, and you're getting plus 4.5, so really good value on the Miami Heat. The chance of winning the game straight up does give the nod here to the Milwaukee Bucks at 74%, and they also get the edge in covering the spread at 53%, and the chance of this game going over the total is at 46%. Now, both teams have no streak coming into this game, and Miami, when they're on the road, facing a team above 60% in the standings, they are 2-7 straight up, 3-6 against the number, and 4-5 to the under. And in their last 10 trips to Milwaukee, they are 6-4 straight up and against the number, and 4-6 to the over/under. On the road this season, Miami Heat were 19-17, 20-16 against the number, 17-19 with the total. And for Milwaukee, pretty good home record. In fact, they're pretty consistent home and away. 26-10 at home, 18-18, so 500 against the point spread, and 24-11-1 to the over. And they had a lot of games go over this year at 45-26-1. Let's take a quick peek at some of the system trends at the bottom here, and we're going to see if there's anything that really stands out on tonight's game. Road teams coming off a 13-point victory in their last game, 10-4 to the over. So, yeah, interesting little stat right there, and nothing really to report on the Milwaukee Bucks. All right, let's get to our next game here between the Dallas Mavericks taking on the LA Clippers. And let's take a look at the line on this game. And we'll just generate the stats. There we go. And we got the Clippers, a 5-point home court favorite. The over-under is set at 218. ATS forecast computer pick. Gonna go with the LA Clippers. 113-106. The over-under at 219.42. Looking at both teams' the last 10 games. Dallas 7-6 in their last 10, 5-5 against the point spread. 70% of those games went over the total, where the Clippers are 4-6 straight up, 3-7 against the number, and 70% of those games went under the total. Now looking at the value index here on the Raymond Report, I did have the Clippers at minus 6.1 and right there at minus 5, so fair market value on the LA Clippers. And for the Dallas Mavericks, I had them at minus 2.27, and you're getting plus 5, so you're getting really good value here on the Dallas Mavericks. Now, looking at the chance of winning, we're going to give the edge here to the Clippers at 78%, but the chance of covering, the edge goes to the Dallas Mavericks at 59%, and your COGO, which stands for chance of game going over the total in the Raymond Report, is at 34%, meaning this has a 66% chance of this game going under total today at the Staples Center, 4:30 tip-off Eastern. The Clippers coming into this game on a 2-game losing streak, straight up and against the number. Those last 2 games went over. And for the Dallas Mavericks, they lost their last 2 games against the point spread, and their last 5 games have gone over the total. And looking at the strength of schedule, both teams playing the beatables. 36.7 in the last 7 for the Mavericks, 26.5 for the Clippers. So Clippers coming in here not really battle tested, and looking at some of their strength of schedule, really nothing to report right there. Nothing stands out. And for the Dallas Mavericks on the road this season, 21-15, 20-16 against the number. And for the Clippers, 26-10, just like the Milwaukee Bucks, and 22-14 at home against the number compared to 19-17 when they were on the road. Now, looking at the last 10 head-to-head matches, you can see here the Clippers got the edge, 6-4 straight up and against the point spread, And Dallas, last 10 trips to the Staples Centers to face the Clippers, they are 3-7. And as a road dog this season, they were 8-8, averaging 111 points, giving up 109. Where the Clippers, as a home favorite, 22-10, averaging 115 to 107. So it looks like we do have a bit of an edge here going to the Clippers here today. And just going to take a look at some of the numbers down here to see if there's anything that really stands right out. And nothing really stands right out from an edge point of view for the LA Clippers coming off a loss when they're at home. 9-4 to the under. And the last 45 games for LA at home, 7-3 to the under. And let me take a look at Dallas here. A little bit of the opposite here. Their last 45 days on the road, 10 games, 70% of those games went over the total. And you know what? I think I might lean with the Clippers in this one. All right, let's go to the next game here between the Portland Trailblazers taking on the Denver Nuggets. Now, when I first saw this line come out, it was Portland -1. Now I see it switch back to Denver. It's just this game has Game 7 all written all over it, right? You know this one's going to go the distance perhaps. But looking at today's game for May 22nd, the tip-off tonight, 10:30, going to be a late one. And -1 for Denver, the over-under at 227. Forecast, going to lean with the Denver Nuggets in game number 1, 111 to 109. The over-under at 220.76. Portland coming in pretty good here. Coming in hot, 8-2 in their last 10 games straight up, 7-3 against the point spread, 5-5 to the over-under, where Denver 6-4 straight up, 5-5 against the spread, and 5-5 to the over-under. Same thing as Portland. Now, my numbers on this game, I did have Denver at -4.93. You can see they're -1. So a bit good value here for the Denver Nuggets. And you're also getting good value on the Portland Trailblazers. I had to listen at -1.8, and you're getting +1. So, yeah, you're getting good value. And you know what? If you're going to play this game, folks, I'd recommend if you're going to play Denver, play the money line. If you're going to play Portland, take the +1. But I would take the money line. Denver at home against teams that are 50 to 59.9% in the standings. They are 9-2 straight up, 8-3 against the point spread, 5-6 to the under. Where the Portland Trailblazers, when they're facing a team above 500, they've got a losing record, 4-6 away from home, and 5-5 to the point spread, and 4-6 to the under. And but they do have a good road record. Look at this, 22-14 away from home, 22-13-1 against the number. And let's see for the Denver Nuggets, 25-11 at home, not a winning record against the point spread, 16-20, and 22-14 to the over. So, and here for Portland, 21-15 to the over. So when you put that combined together, you have 43-29 to the over. And in the last 10 head-to-head meetings between these two teams, Denver, a bit of an edge here, but not against the point spread. 6-4 straight up, 4-6 against the number. And for Portland, their last 10 trips to Denver, 60% of those games went over the total. All right, let's take a look at some of the other. Last time these two teams met was on, let me see here, May 16th. And it was a 132-116 win for Denver. So we'll call it. All right. So, and let me check out this one here for the road team. So Denver on the road, we already talked about, 22-13 on the road. 12-7 to the over, coming off a 16-point win. So some nice little numbers right there. For the Denver Nuggets, coming off a loss when they're at home. 8-7-1 against the point spread, 11-5 to the over. This could be a high-scoring game. You might want to lean to the over in this one. I think this might be a high-scoring game. What's the total? 227, and we have 220. But if I were to play this game here tonight, I think I would lean with the Denver Nuggets in Game 1, but on the money line. I think I would go towards the money line, and but it's going to be a great series. I think this one here is going to go 7. All right, let's take a look at here. Brooklyn Nets taking on the Boston Celtics. Now, Boston coming into this one on a, let me see here, 4-6 in their last 10. They're an 8-point road dog here against the Brooklyn Nets, and the over-under set at 229. Forecast calling for a tight game. Look at this, 109 to 108 favoring the Brooklyn Nets. The over-under at 217.93. Brooklyn 6-4 straight up and against this point spread in their last 10. And for the Brooklyn Nets, the value edge of the Vegas index, I had them listed at -4.5, and you're laying 8, so they're overvalued. And I had the Boston Celtics at -1.67. And on the Raymond Report, if you're wondering how does the Vegas edge work, and I'll show you at the end of this video a tutorial on all the acronyms that you see here, and what in the Raymond Report, I base my fundamentals on 3 things. 1, value. 2, percentage play and the performance cycles. But when it comes to value, I take this number here as if I was going to buy the Boston Celtics on the stock market today, and I would recommend them at 1.67 versus a faceless opponent. And now we're getting +8, so you can see we're getting really good value. And you know, when you're in sports betting, how do you measure value, right? You got to have a system. This is my system. It works. And I think we do have good value here on the Boston Celtics today. But, you know, they've been helter-skelter all year, this Boston squad. Them and the Bruins. I don't know what's with the water in Boston this year, but this inconsistency. But maybe we'll see. The playoffs, the Bruins have turned it up in the playoffs. Maybe the Celtics will feed off that. But I do have the chance of winning, leaning towards the Brooklyn Nets here. 75.3%. Look at the chance of covering. The lower high going to the Celtics at 26%. And the chance of this game going over the total is at 57%. And Brooklyn coming in hot, winning their last 5 straight up and against the number. They are 9-2 against team with a 50 to 59.9%, but only 6-5 against the number. And for Boston, when they're facing a team above 60% on the road, losing record 5-7, 6-6 against the point spread, but 8-4 to the over. And in their last 10 trips to Brooklyn, they're only 1-8-1 against the number, 3-7 to the under. And Brooklyn has the edge in the last 10 head-to-head meetings, either at home at the Barclays Center or at TD Gardens. They are 7-3, or what is it called? Yeah, TD Gardens, I think, in Boston. 7-3 straight up, 8-2 against the point spread, 5-5 to the over/under. The last time these two teams met was on April 23rd. It was a 109-104 victory for the Brooklyn Nets. In fact, prior to that, it was 121-109. I'm trying to see if Boston has beaten the Celtics. No, they haven't beaten them this year. And last year, December 25th, they played on Christmas Day. It was 123. So you can see Brooklyn has a 3-game winning streak heading into this one. And for the Celtics, and let me see, any numbers really pointing out. 0-4 coming off a Southwest Division or Southeast Division opponent. Really doesn't matter about that. Let me see here. Anything? This is a tough one. This is a really tough one to handicap, right? Brooklyn, just that the lineup has been so inconsistent this year that, you know, every second week there's a completely different lineup. I think I'm going to sit this one out today, and there's other games on the board. There's baseball, there's hockey. I think you want to sit this one out because you just don't know where it's going to go, in my opinion. So there you have it. That's the Raymond Report NBA playoff preview for a Saturday, May 22nd. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you do, appreciate if you hit that like button. And don't forget, check out the top B-ballers right here at bballpicks.com. Go check out their selections. Check out mine. My handle here is Ronnie Ray. Just look for the Jordan logo and click follow my picks. And don't forget to follow the top scorers right here at bballpicks.com. Have a great day. Have a great series. Have a great playoff. Cheers.